Hello my friends, Matthew Deary checking in, and let me start off this video by saying I am not going to show you 1,000 frame per second, super slow motion, phantom footage of a drone under rainfall showing off the destruction of a Mavic 2 Pro. I posted a similar video to this 2 years ago and the video has been widely disliked. I think some people were hoping for some sort of drone destruction lab test or something, despite me making no claims in that regard. However, it is one of my highest viewed videos because clearly people are interested in what happens to a drone in rain.
It's gonna rain!
Well, I recently had the chance to test the limits of my drone back in April.
Excuse me?
So this time I'm checking in not with a Mavic Air, but with, again, a Mavic 2 Pro, and I flew it in a mild rain. And you can see here on my windshield that day the severity of said rain. Now it wasn't much, but it was enough to make one hesitant to fly their drone in these conditions.
To carry on under these conditions, it's unprofessional!
Why would I fly my drone in this weather? Well, for clicks and dislikes for one.
So fetch.
But for real, I was recently contracted to do some aerial work for Mile Marker Zero, a team that canoed down the length of the Mississippi River start to finish in world record time. That's northern Minnesota down to the Gulf of Mexico. And they started their journey on April 22nd and were canoeing down the river from that point for the next 18 days, rain or shine. It was crazy. Several times after I captured them, I would be sitting at my desk on my laptop.
Let the hacking begin.
Waking up and I would think, they're just out there somewhere on the Mississippi River rowing a canoe.
And I live in a van down by the river.
So anyway, I was set to capture the rowers as they made their way through the Twin Cities. The river winds through both Minneapolis and St. Paul. And as they made their way down to Minneapolis, the rain was too heavy for me to fly.
The full power of the storm!
And once they made it through the St. Anthony Lock and Dam, they actually had to portage their canoe through that portion of the river, which means to move a watercraft overland. I learned that from this project.
Surprised you didn't know that.
And after that, they made their way to Lock and Dam number 1. With missing the chance to film in the air due to heavy rain in the heart of Minneapolis, I needed to get some footage of the crew in the Twin Cities area. So I made a calculated decision to fly in this slight rain, deciding the risk was worth it. I didn't want to miss this chance to capture them as they made their way down the river in the metro area. This literally was a once in the journey opportunity. If the drone shorted out, crashed in the river, or was lost, from my eyes, the risk was worth it. The likely worst case scenario is me paying the deductible on my insurance to replace my drone, flying my backup drone for a few weeks until I got a new Mavic 2 Pro. And for me, that was a worthwhile risk for the reward of capturing the footage for this Guinness Book of World Record-setting crew. So how did the drone stand up? Well, it flew perfectly fine. I didn't notice anything in terms of the flight nor the optics. You can see the footage here. It looks crisp and clear. The drone was wet when it landed, and I mean quite damp. It wasn't dripping wet, but more than enough to merit wiping the drone down. Ah, shoot, that would have been a really good thing to film.
You dumbass.
Even with water on the body, there was no noticeable water within the crevices or vents or leaking into the battery. I have flown the drone at least, I don't know, like anywhere from 40 to 50 times since that day with zero issues. Again, no slow motion test footage of the destruction of the drone, but in my experience, the Mavic 2 Pro can stand up to a light rain. But again, only if the risk merits the flight, the potential crash or water damage. If this was a client who said come back anytime, or an aerial audit or survey of a building, real estate, zero chance I engage in this flight. But because this was a one-off moment, the flight had to be done. So I flew at my own risk, and anytime when you're debating whether or not you should fly your drone in rain, fly at your own risk.
Oh, that's a risky little game.
If you've made it this far, make sure you give the video a like, or if you hated the video and you wish I crashed my drone, give it a dislike. Let's make this the most disliked video on this channel.
Boo this man!
But, you know, a like would be nice. I mean, likes are nicer. And, you know, if you feel obliged, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's free. It helps my channel grow. And, you know, that also kind of makes me feel good. So, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And as I close out all my videos, I love you, friends. I'll see you on the next one.